Guten Tag and good day, and welcome into another edition of your favorite podcast, Musings from the Mountains. I am Keenan Cummings, managing editor / host, and here's my sidekick.
I'm Patrick Kotnik, staff writer for WVSports.com.
Still zooming it up, guys. Hopefully, with social distancing, we'll be able to get back together at some point, but for now, enjoy what we do on Zoom. It's connecting us all while not being together. But big news again, West Virginia, the recruiting train keeps rolling for West Virginia in the 2021 class. Added yet another commitment, this time from an offensive lineman, Tomas Rimac. Tomas Rimac, that's how you say it. I made sure, I double-checked, I asked. Actually, he's a prospect that, while it might come as a surprise that he committed, a lot of that we'll get into, really low-profile type of kid. He's not necessarily a new target on the board. Patrick and I both were able to see him in person last year at West Virginia's Big Man Camp, right around this time last year, actually a couple weeks ahead. But we're able to see him perform, and he was one of the guys that really stood out to both of us, Pat.
Yeah, he immediately, not only just based off his size, stood out, but, just he was able to hold his own so much against some of the defensive linemen. He was one of the 4 MVPs of the Big Man Camp last year in Morgantown, and he was in pretty good company, too. You had Wyatt Millum, who's one of the top players in the state of West Virginia and a Mountaineer commit. You have Bryce Biggs, who goes to the same school as Wyatt Millum there in Spring Valley and Huntington.
Landon Tangwall.
Yeah, a Penn State commit. So, he was in
there as well.
He was in really, really good company, and not only is the size impressive, but he delivers a good punch. His footwork was really great. When you watch his film, I'm really impressed of he's able to stay square under control, especially what stood out to me on the second level against some of those linebackers. Sometimes you see offensive linemen once they get to the second level, you see backers are able to juke them or able to kind of get them off their feet a little bit based on his film, and he was able to really kind of keep his feet underneath him, sink his hips, and still drive some of those linebackers and defenders on the second level. So there's a lot to like. He'll need some, as always with offensive linemen, I feel like when they make the jump from high school to college, they'll need some polishing in some areas. But he's a very intriguing prospect, to say the least.
Yeah, I think his best football is certainly ahead of him. The things that stood out to me, he has a tackle-type body. Doesn't mean he's going to play tackle. He can move inside. He has great bend. I thought that stood out throughout the camp. Great feet. And if you have good feet and good bend and a good body, you pretty much have a good chance to play tackle at the college level, especially, as you continue to develop. I think certainly his best football is ahead of him. His coach pretty much said the same thing. He's dominant, at the high school level, but he's going to have to clean some things up. Plays high at times, but that's obviously very, very typical for high school linemen. So he'll need to refine technique, develop his body a little bit more. But he's even added a lot of weight since last time me and Patrick saw him. He's now about 6'6", 290 is what his coach said he weighed in at. So that's pretty good size, and he's going to continue to add weight. And the good thing is he's not sloppy right now. There's a lot of room to add weight and a good frame to do that. For West Virginia, a good commitment. I mentioned, it comes somewhat as a surprise. He kept a really, really low profile when it comes to recruiting in 2020. A lot of kids are tweeting every offer they get. Kid had one tweet talking about his offers. And what's even crazier about that? He asked his coach if he could tweet it. Wow. That's the type of kid he is. He's not big on social media, not big on anything, but some really good offers at Wisconsin, Iowa State, Illinois, Minnesota. You go down the list, quite a few Power 5 offers. I've heard also he had the Michigan offer as well. I have not confirmed that, but wouldn't surprise me. He has the frame, and a lot of things are exciting about him. This was a commitment that West Virginia really worked on over time. There was a lull there for a little bit when Blake Seiler left. He was kind of his area recruiter. Jeff Kuntz took over, and Matt Moore kind of carried that thing to the finish line. He developed a really good relationship with him, and they were able to get him in the class. Now 11 commitments for West Virginia. 2 offensive linemen, both tackle types, which if you're a fan of West Virginia football, getting those tackle types is always a good thing. That's been a struggle, over the years to find those guys that you can develop with those bodies and those skill sets. So you got 2 of those in this class. And
something else to add too is that he's 5th from the state of Ohio. We've talked about how the coaches have wanted to establish a better presence, recruiting the Buckeye State, and he's number 5. 11 commitments in this 2021 class, 5 of them from the Buckeye State. That's pretty impressive so far.
And I don't think they're done there yet. I think they get maybe 1 or 2 more by the time this thing is said and done. 28th nationally, West Virginia's class with 11 commitments. That's important because there's a lot of room to rise. Some of the teams, actually quite a few of the teams ahead of them, all have a lot more commitments right now. West Virginia's kind of playing it safe. They've been able to take guys that have visited campus, have a relationship, They're not forcing the issue. I know for a fact they could have more people in this class if they wanted, but they're taking a very cautious approach and really making sure that the guys they're getting are the guys they really want, not necessarily what you're seeing some schools do is taking anybody that wants to commit. So West Virginia's looking good on recruiting right now. I think you have to be happy with the way things are coming together. And this thing could continue to grow. You know, usually June, July are your biggest months for commitments with camps. Those obviously aren't going to happen, but I still think you're going to see the commitments because the closer kids get to their college or their high school seasons, the less they want to deal with their college recruitments. Speaking of recruiting kind of in reverse, 2020 signees are going to start enrolling soon to start with this phased-in approach. Basketball players are enrolled already, 2 of the 3. The third, Kedrian Johnson, will be here July 6th. Football, from what I've talked with, I expect most, if not all, of the recruits to report this weekend to start that phased-in approach on the 15th. We'll have updates to see who all made it, who didn't, and kind of what's going on there on the site. Want to recommend, if you want that information, you can get it for free, FREE. All you have to do is sign up with the promo, WV 2020. You get free coverage. I don't know. There's really no way you can lose. Sign up, talk on the message boards, read all of our articles. Pretty much everything you want, you will get free until September 1st. That expires at the end of this month, though, so get to that if you want to do it. But thank you for tuning in again. We'll have another episode here later in the week, but thank you, and we appreciate you tuning in with us. This has been another fun-filled edition of Musings for the Mountains.